What is up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be going over a little bit about Cover 4 Drop Show 2 and how we can make a little bit of run defense out of it. Now, I want to put a little discretionary thing out there. Cover 4 Drop Show 2 is not the best run defense out there. Edge Blitz 1, I personally think, is one of the best run defenses out there. So, we're going to be going against the Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott. Now, there's a reason I chose the Seattle Seahawks for this particular situation. That's because Bobby Wagner and Jadeveon Clowney both have tackle supreme, or I don't know what it is. What it does is conservative tackles are, I think, guaranteed to make a tackle. Now, Bobby Wagner also has enforcer, so if you guys want to go for a hit stick, you're much more likely to land a successful hit stick. Everybody should know about how enforcer works, so just wanted to bring you guys that. So, Cover 4 drops with 2, 3-4 odd, Seattle Seahawks. This is usually the team I'm going to be rocking with most of the year. So, we're going to go ahead and not baseline. I've allowed this a little bit more, and I found a non-baseline, especially against like a 2 tight end set or a 3 tight end set, is often better than a baseline press. So, we're going to go ahead and press, and then what I'm going to do, just in case, so we're going to kind of simulate this as if it was a pass, a potential pass situation. I'm going to go ahead and back off X. That's also the nice thing about non-baseline. You can do that. If you baseline press, you can't do that without manually clicking on and doing so and just wasting more time. So, next what we do is pinch our linebackers, spread our D-line, and that sounds kind of weird because if you're going against a stretch, they're going to very easily bounce it to the outside. This is where a little bit of manual adjustments come into play. Next, what we want to do is we'll move Jadeveon Clowney to the outside hip of this furthest outside tight end, number whoever Jarwin, I think it says 89. Whoever your outside tight end is, make sure your outside linebacker is to his outside hip. The reason for that is because he's going to be setting the edge for us to be able to make a tackle on the edge. Now, the safety is also kind of important as well. When we go and check our run fits, in a Cover 4 Drop Show 2, you'll see both our safeties. See all those little lines on the field, pink, orange, like a maroon? Those are all people that are in the run fits, whether the F or the force defender or C, I believe is a cutback. I can't remember the word right now. But you see the F and C, they both are different assignments in how they react to the run. If it's a run to the right, we've got the force on the right. If it's run to the left, we've got force on the left. And those both play a key. Now, in a Cover 4 Drop Show 2, it's nice because you have a ton, and I mean a ton, of numbers in the run fit. So you can also do a couple different things we can talk about in this video, or maybe a separate video. You guys can let me. We'll see how this video goes. So right here, we're gonna go ahead and blitz B. We're gonna slant our D-line to the left. We're almost always slanting our D-line the opposite direction of where we expect the run to go. So for example, I know this run's gonna be a run to the right. It's almost a guaranteed run to the right, or one to whatever strong side, wherever the strong side is. It's a guaranteed they're running it that direction if it's a stretch because it's an RPO. You can't flip it unless you flip the play manually, or unless you just flip the play altogether. So we're going to go ahead and blitz Jadeveon Clowney. Again, that's just to set the edge, allow us to get an open gap. And we're also going to blitz A just to occupy the right guard or whoever he picks up. Sometimes he'll pick up the fullback. Sometimes he'll take on the right tackle. Sometimes he'll just come through clean. So we're just going to blitz our linebacker, our middle linebacker that we are not using. We're using Bobby Wagner for his enforcer and his tackle supreme, or whatever kind of pizza topping it is. And we're going to make the play ourselves. So this is going to come down to one-on-one. You can click off, though that's going to require some timing-based attempts. So be real careful about clicking off in this situation. Almost always I'm going to stay clicked on unless they're pretty good at stop and go and swerve. Otherwise, we're going to land a hit stick. But most times, against the stretch, we're going for a conservative tackle. So we'll go ahead and snap the ball right here. It gets right there. We get chop block, but the safety is able to come down. Jadeveon Clowney setting the edge, making the tackle with his simple conservative CPU tackle. So let's go into instant replay and just talk about a little bit what's going on right there. So we're going to zoom out just a hair. So we've got our run defense set up. Again, this is more of a bend, don't break style of defense. You see right here, we pulled number 52, the left guard's attention. Now, if you were to hover over or behind the defensive tackle about right where that line is, right about, let's see if we can get to, you guys can see the line right in front of the safety. If you hover right about there, the number 52 is just going to generally going to ignore you. He'll try to chase you down, but he's going to be too slow to make any kind of tackle. So we're going to hop onto Zeke right here. And you'll see right there, we've got this linebacker coming through. So if he decides to cut back, he's got to take on this linebacker. On top of that, there's no way he can run to the left. We now also have the safety coming down. So right here, the fullback has to decide who is he taking on. Is he taking on the user, or is he going to take on the safety? So instead, he chop blocks us as the user. Jadeveon Clowney gets off of his block, and either way, the safety would have made a tackle right there. Now, I would strongly recommend to click on, but you can still be pretty safe to say that you're going to get away with a good tackle. Now, if you have guys like Pat Tillman or somebody that can get tackle supreme and enforcer, you're going to be pretty safe about letting that safety make the tackle for you every single time. So again, we're going to go and do this one more time. It's going to be a press, pinch linebackers, spread D-line, slant them opposite direction of where the run's going. So we know the run's going right. We're going to slant left. We're going to drag this guy out to the outside hip of that tight end. Now right here, you can also put digs on a spy. What that does is he's just going to react a lot faster. He's going to just bite down on the run immediately. Whereas if you leave him in his zone, even though he's in the run fits, he's going to take a little bit longer to react. So for this example, let's just go ahead and put him into a spy. And then I'm going to put B into a hard flat just again to help contain the outside edge. Don't forget to blitz this linebacker that you are not using. And user Bobby Wagner in this situation. Let's go ahead and see the little difference between a spied safety and a hard flat versus a non-spied safety and a non-hard flat. Bam, you can see right there. The safety takes on the fullback. Us with Bobby Wagner, able to take Zeke one-on-one, and we're going to make the tackle every single time. So that time we did a couple different adjustments. We kind of changed it into a funky version of a cover 6. But let's just zoom out. I'm going to hop on Zeke. And we'll just zip forward. So you can see right here, I want to talk about what's going on the right side of the field. First off, linebacker occupying, I think that's the right guard. He occupies the right guard, which we need in order to clear up space. The defensive end occupies the right tackle. These two tight ends right here, 82 and 89, Witten and Jarvin, have no idea what the crap to do because we have this corner and this hard flat. So they're assuming it's kind of a cover 2. And in turn, what they do, they pull. Since it's a zone run, they pull and they go chase after this corner. And in turn, safety takes on the fullback, chop block, and then we have a free shot at the running back. Even though this left guard is chasing us, he will not be able to get to us because of the speed differential. So right there, you can see right there, Zeke stopped in the backfield. Now, one final thing I want to talk about, we're just adding to this as we go, is user placement. User placement can change this a little bit. It can give you a little bit more of an edge as well, but do be warned when you get into kind of like ISO or dive plays, fullback dive, want to be fullback dive, halfback dive, you got to be really careful about doing this particular thing, and that is having your user right here. Generally, I'm going to do this if I expect a stretch, but do be warned they can still audible into an ISO play out of this formation and run it right up the gut, and generally from there your user is often going to get picked up. So in this particular situation, we know it's a stretch. We're just going to assume it's a stretch, and we're going to set up our defense for that. So pinch linebacker, spread D-line, move Jadeveon Clowney out, blitz him, make sure he's on the outside hip of that farthest tight end. Again, that's just to contain the edge. You can click onto this guy, you can blitz him, and then we're going to put a spy, and then we're going to put outside quarter into a hard flat. Again, we're just trying to contain the edge as much as humanly possible. Snap the ball and see if we can make a play right here. You can see again, while that's a gain of 2 yards, 3 yards maybe, we're still able to contain the edge successfully. So now let's talk a little bit about ISO. I'm going to take a time out. We'll talk about ISO right now, which is just a run right up the middle. It's pretty much the exact same thing as a dive. 3-4 odd, cover 4 drop show 2. The setup is going to be practically the same, though we're going to have to commit a little more heavily to the middle of the field. So let's just go right into halfback ISO. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to press, slant our D-line to the left, spread D-line, pinch linebackers, move this guy to the outside just in case, if this was to be a road game, they may call a audible on audible into the stretch alert X lookie. And then from here, we're going to change it up just slightly. I'm going to back off X, and we're going to put both safeties into spies. Now, the reason for this, it's probably going to sound a little crazy. Forgot to blitz A. But that's just in case they audible into the ISO, and then you can have numbers just to be able to play it. So right here, show you guys what I'm talking about. We're gonna go ahead and snap this ball. Your user oftentimes is gonna get picked up by that left guard, but then the safety or linebacker, somebody is gonna come through and make the play for you. Now you can also do this if you're worried about them bouncing into the outside. You can move, I think his name's KJ, right? I don't know. You can move right to the outside just a hair. Again, just helping to contain that run. And you could always blitz him as well, or just leave him in a zone. So let's go ahead, run this. So right there you can see we get picked up, and right there I'm happy that happened, because you see right there, that's the exact reason why cover 4 drop shot 2 is not the best run defense, simply because it's still pretty easy to break a big gain. That's why I like to run edge blitz 1 against this particular formation. So pinch linebackers, spread D line, put both safeties into spies, and then try and make a user play. This time we're going to blitz that outside linebacker, do a little bit of lobbing with you guys, and see what happens in this particular situation. Again, you can see right there, if Zeke breaks that tackle, there's no safeties in the backfield to be able to make a play. Now, why that is, I'm not entirely sure, but let's go check out an in-series play and just see what's going on. So let's just zoom out. You can see right here what ends up happening is it's kind of funky. So first off, we've got this left guard right here that ignores us altogether and goes downfield. Now the center eventually actually passes off this defensive, where is it putting it out right now? He passes off this defensive tackle to the right guard and then picks us up on the block. The fullback is then able to successfully clear up this gap right here, take on this middle linebacker, make the block. Number 71 passes his defensive end off to his tight end, and then chases the safety downfield, and more likely will probably pancake him. But you can see right there, we get a lucky shed, and we're able to contain the run. Now, if they do decide to bounce it to the outside, they're like, oh, hey, he's actually plugging up. We've got this guy right there that's going to make the tackle fairly easily, and then pretty much bagged him. Now, again, that was more of a lucky shed. I'm not going to say that was good run defense. Pro players may say, this is good run defense. It's not. That's just a lucky shed. So we're going to go ahead and set this all up. We're going to go and blitz all linebackers. Just, again, that's the last adjustments we got to worry about. Move these guys over. We're going to press. This guy's generally going to come down to here, but since I touched him, he won't. And we'll try kind of a similar situation behind the stretch play, and we're going to kind of hide behind the defensive tackle and see. Again, this is just a little bit of live lab session with you guys. See if that does make a difference. Snap the ball. You can see right there. That time we get picked up by the fullback. Ezekiel is dragging our linebacker for 15, 20, I don't know how many yards that was, 10 yards or something like that. So that's kind of why I don't think cover 4 drop shot 2 is the best run defense out there. More so particularly because it's good for a bend don't break. It's good for a first drive, don't get me wrong. But after that first drive, you should have run defense by now, and you should be able to make a contain. Now, this is kind of the similar setup for edge blitz 1. It's pinch D line, spread linebackers. I'm not going to go through all of this, but if you guys want it, it'll be down below in the description as well. And then we'll do something like this. Now, this is going to be good for the ISO run a little bit more, but again, you can see we're still getting picked up on the block. So generally when they're going to be running ISOs, I'm not going to run a cover 4 drop shot 2 unless it's the first drive. And we're kind of, if you're okay giving up 5 yards the first drive every single down, then by all means go ahead and do so. But again, you see the difference is huge if they decide to audible into an ISO run versus a stretch run. Stretch run we can contain every single time. A dive or ISO, HB ISO, it's going to just, yeah, it's not going to be good, guys. It's just not. So that's kind of going to take care of this video. If there's anything in specific, I think I'm going to kind of make this a series. If there's anything in specific you guys want me to cover, you can let me know down below in the comment section, and I will pick one comment that we will cover probably every week, just once a week. It's going to be a once a week thing. So drop a comment down below and let me know if there's something in specific you guys want me to cover next week, and I will do so. It'll give me time to lab, etc., etc. But also on top of that, if you guys want to be able to ask questions and me answer them kind of live, like a live lab session, kind of like we're doing right now, but a actual live stream, Check out MeisterMadden.com, pick yourself up a membership today. And until next time, guys, get in the lab. This has been T Meister. See ya.